Hello, my dear students. Welcome to our Reading and Writing Skills class. And for this week, our lesson is all about...
So for this week, our lesson will focus on determining textual evidence to validate assertions and counterclaims made about a text read. The following are the learning objectives that you have to achieve at the end of the lesson. What do we mean by textual evidence? When we say textual evidence, it is an information gathered from the text that supports one's assertions or counterclaim about the text. It is a specific part of a text which illustrates or proves a point and adds credibility to your argument. Textual evidence is required anytime you draw a conclusion, make an inference, or make a prediction about a text to show why you think that way. It can be represented by the following. When we say text, it is referring to the written work. Evidence, which means proof. When we combine text and evidence, it is all about citing proof in the reading. There are different steps in expressing one's judgment about the text. First, the idea about the text should be stated. You must clearly identify the idea that is presented in the text. Number 2, to determine evidence from the text, look for clues and keywords that support an idea about the text. These clue words will serve as proof or evidence in identifying the text's main idea. 3. The part of the text which is helpful in coming up with idea should be quoted or paraphrased. Paraphrasing or quoting are just some of the ways you could come up with textual evidences. Paraphrasing is all about restating the text in one's own words, while quoting is stating a part of the text in the exact way it was written. Next, quotation marks should be used to quote a part of the text. If it is from a book, the page number should also be indicated at the end of the sentence. And lastly, express how the quote supports the idea. Supporting the statements with textual evidences can help you come up with strong or solid arguments and make ideas more credible. You could use any of the following techniques in determining textual evidence. It can either be prove it or ACE technique. Let's discuss the two one by one. In the to prove it technique, we will start with the passage. The evidence must be found somewhere in the passage. Look for any words or phrases in the passage which could serve as proof or evidence. R, which means reference the specific location. Referencing is all about mentioning a specific section of the text. You may use any of the following sentence starters. Letter O, which means offer support. There must be a connection between the question and the evidence. By this way, the supporting statements could make your textual evidence more reliable. You may use the following sentence starters to make connections between the question and the evidence. V, which means view of the author. Provide the author's view on the topic. This could widen the reader's view about the text. You may use any of the following sentence starters. Next is, I can see it. It has to be something your eyes can see in the text. Therefore, textual evidence are those directly stated in the text which could help you explain what the statement is all about. I, which means inferences. You must use clues from the text. Expressing one's inferences or conclusions denotes one's critical reading ability. You may use any of the following sentence starters. The next one is text features. You may also want to analyze the different text features such as the title, headings, charts, tables, paragraphs, or illustrations in the text that could serve as your textual evidence. The following sentence starters could be used. Aside from this prove it technique, we may also use the ACE technique. A stands for answer. Answer the question using prior knowledge. Prior knowledge may be based on one's experiences, observations, or any reliable sources read. Next is cite. Cite evidence in the text to support your thoughts or opinions. These are referring to the clue words or any supporting details to support one's ideas. And lastly, explain. Explain your answer with evidence by paraphrasing or direct quoting. A reliable statement must always be supported by evidences, which can be explained by getting a direct quote from the text or by paraphrasing the statements in the text. Aside from knowing the different techniques, we must also be aware of the different types of textual evidence, such as statistical, anecdotal, testimonial, and analogical. Let's discuss this one by one. When we say statistical evidences, this ranges from true, hard data presented as a percentage or number to survey-type data. These are numerical evidences that would serve as basis in making one's statement credible. Be guided by the given examples. The next one is testimonial evidences. This is the use of celebrities as credibility evidence, which can be considered as testimonial in nature. They can also be collected from experts. But always remember, when using testimonial evidences, the credibility of the person or someone being asked for his or her testimonies must be taken into consideration. The next one is anecdotal evidences. This is used when storytelling is involved as evidence. It must be coupled with statistical or testimonial evidence. One's anecdote, experiences, or stories of their lives could also be used as textual evidence as long as it is supported still with other supporting evidences. Lastly is analogical evidences. This is used when information is scarce about something and little is known. If the phenomenon in question is new and little is known about it, analogical evidence that pulls in known factors about a similar phenomenon to show parallels can be an effective way to provide proof. Let's take a look at a given example. Please read this silently. What is Michael Jordan's attitude towards the competition? Can you identify which statement could answer the question? If you can see in the last two paragraphs, you could say that Michael Jordan is a very persistent and passionate basketball player because despite of the fact that he was ill, he was able to appear on the court and play for his team. Given all these ideas, we could say that determining textual evidence requires higher order thinking skills in order for you to interpret or analyze the text that you are reading. That will be all for our today's lesson. Thank you so much.